Quickfire predictions. I was literally just looking on my channel thinking, right, I want to get another video out today. What am I going to talk about? Bing! As if by chance someone comments, could you upload a full breakdown of your predictions for the full card? Yes, the fuck I can. Main event. Kevin Lee, he's improved too much for Iaquinta. He's been more active against top competition, even though Iaquinta did beat Khabib. That is Iaquinta's only win inside the top 15. As far as I'm aware, maybe he's beat a top 15, 14, 13 guy, but Kevin Lee's been more consistent against the top of the division. And I just think Kevin Lee's better. I think you just ignore what happened in the last fight completely because they're both different fighters. But yeah, I do think that Kevin Lee's going to get this one. And he's going to smash Iaquinta, in my opinion. And I think he's going to finish him. I think everything Khabib does, Kevin Lee's done better so far. If you look at the Edson Barbosa fight as a prime example. We shall see. Then you got the lightweight, the co-main event. Edson Barbosa versus Dan Hooker. So excited for this fight. Edson Barbosa, obviously the tough veteran. Dan Hooker, similar amount of fights to Edson Barbosa. Only one fight less, despite being a new up-and-comer. I think Dan Hooker's going to absolutely smoke him. I think that Edson Barbosa's taken too much damage in his career, especially in the past two fights. Dan Hooker's fresh, confident, trains with Israel Adesanya, so he's got the confidence of the team going forwards. Their whole team's killing it right now. Especially with Kai Kara France winning the other day on UFC 231 prelims. So, yeah, I've got Dan Hooker winning by TKO in the second round, I'll say. I say the first round, Dan Hooker's feeling him out. Edson Barbosa lands something sharp. It wakes up Dan Hooker, and then he starts going. And I either think he gets to finish late in the first round or in the second round. Now, don't be surprised if Edson Barbosa shoots on him and Dan Hooker whips up a guillotine, because he has a nasty guillotine on him, and he'll pull to it every time. He's got them long arms right around. He's got arms long enough to get the arm in guillotine choke, head and arm choke easily. Moving on, bantamweight, Rob Font versus Sergio Pettis. Sergio Pettis is a flyweight. He has no power at flyweight even. He's a touch point karate guy, and I think that Rob Font, just the danger level at bantamweight is going to be too much for Sergio Pettis. He's not a particularly big flyweight. I think he's going to be the smaller guy in there. I think Rob Font's going to come out aggressive, feel him out for a bit, but then eventually he's just going to land a big shot. And most likely TKO Sergio Pettis. Unless Sergio Pettis is tough and survives, I think Rob Font handles this one very easily, because bantamweights have got the power that flyweights, the risk of knockouts that flyweights just don't have. They don't have it. I mean, you can hate on flyweights all day. The risk level just isn't there, and it starts at bantamweight. And the knockout power that Rob Font has is evident. He knocked out Thomas Almeida, he knocked out with ease by the looks of things. So I think he's going to handle Sergio Pettis. But if Sergio Pettis wins, it'd be a great win. It'd be a great win. But I think bantamweight, Sergio Pettis is going to be a bit small. And I mean, if you're a small guy moving up, you want to kind of be a wrestler because you want to be the lower center of gravity. But Rob Font's just going to tee off on him, I think. Unless we see a 10 times better Sergio Pettis. Most likely, Rob Font's going to absolutely do the job. He's game as well, so wouldn't surprise me. Moving on, lightweight, Jim Miller. This is quickfire, boys. Listen to this. Moving on, lightweight, Jim Miller versus Charles Oliveira. Jim Miller coming off a big win. I don't know who it was against at all. But before that, he's taken a lot of damage. I think Charles Oliveira is going to be able to pick him apart on the feet a little bit. And if Jim Miller goes for a takedown, Charles Oliveira has nasty ground game. Nasty guard as well, more importantly. And I don't think he's going to be shooting for a takedown on Jim Miller. I think Jim Miller's going to look to clinch. Charles Oliveira is going to get a nice guillotine. Or he's going to pull guard, get an armbar off the bottom, something like that. But I just think that Jim Miller's just too old. He's had his time. Time to retire. Moving on to the preliminary card. Zach Otto versus Dwight Grant. Don't know anything about either of them. I'm going to give it to Dwight Grant because Zach Otto is 16-6. That's a pretty trash record. And Dwight Grant is 8-1. I'm going to give it to the fresh blood on that one. And he's black as well, so most likely he's going to be more powerful. It's just facts, guys. Don't hate on me. Jessica Rose Clark versus Andrea Lee. Very interesting. Andrea Lee has a really good record for a woman. 9-2. I don't say that for a woman as a feminist thing. Most women have like 4-4 records, 5-5 records when they're coming out. Andrea Lee has 9-2. Very good record. I can't right now. Jessica Rose Clark. Shut up. Jessica Rose Clark. I think she gets this one done. I actually fancy Jessica Rose Clark as well because, damn, she's hot. My fucking ass. Anyway, moving on. I think Jessica Rose Clark gets it done by decision because obviously it's a women's fight. There won't be a finish whatsoever. Lightweight, Bobby Green versus Drakkar Klose. Should be an entertaining fight. Really entertaining. Drakkar Klose is coming off a draw to Lando Venata recently, and he took a lot of damage that fight. If my memory serves me correct, I could be wrong. I'm going to go with Bobby Green, the veteran, to get this one done by decision. I think it's a war. Great matchmaking, but I think that Bobby Green gets it done. Jared Gordon versus Joaquim Silva. Going to give it to Jared Gordon. Don't know why. I like the name Gordon. Good name. Gerald Meerschaert versus Jack Hermansson. Don't know anything about either of them. Going to give it to Jack Hermansson because Gerald Meerschaert has lost 9 times. I don't like that. Dan Ige versus John Jordan Griffin. I'm going to give it to Dan Ige. He's a talented prospect coming up. I think he lost in the UFC recently, but you know, he's a talented prospect. Jordan Griffin's the older guy, more seasoned, but I think Dan Ige is just going to come in and put work on him. Adam Millstead versus Mike Rodriguez. Neither of them I know. Both 8-3. Let's give it to the black guy so I don't seem racist. Trevor Smith versus Zach Cummings. I'll give it to Zach Cummings because Zach Cummings is a seasoned veteran. Great wrestler. He lost to Gunnar Nelson before. I don't know who he's fought recently, but I think he's going to get this one done. And Trevor Smith is just going to get outworked. 21-6 for Zach Cummings as a record, and 15-8 for Trevor Smith. I don't even know how he's in the UFC. He must have a lot of wins recently. So maybe I'll give it to Trevor Smith because he must be on a few wins in a row to even be in the UFC. So, yeah, I like that. I'll give it to Trevor Smith to beat Zach Cummings by a TKO. Heavyweight, Chris De La Rocha versus Juan Adams. Juan Adams doesn't even have a fucking picture on the UFC website, so I'm going to give it to Chris De La Rocha just because he has a picture. Shows that the UFC cares about him. That's about it, guys. That's the whole card. But yeah, back to the main event. Kevin Lee wins by TKO in the 4th round, 3rd round, I believe. Ground and pound, not on the feet, obviously. I think that his stand-up's just going to be too evolved, and he's going to be able to match Iaquinta on the feet, and he already has the wrestling advantage, in my opinion. But he's got to watch for submissions off the back, because Iaquinta's a savage. But yeah, I don't take any notice of the first fight. Moving on to the co-main event, I think Edson Barboza's had his time. Gatekeeper, I give it to the young blood, Dan Hooker, to come up, starch him. Dan Hooker's looked phenomenal at lightweight. He's a big lightweight as well. Only problem is, he does get leg kicked quite a bit, and, you know, Gilbert Burns doesn't leg kick like Edson Barboza, so he's going to be in trouble there. I think he gets kind of tuned up for the first part of the first round, but then he wakes up, gets in his rhythm, and finds the finish somehow. I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to sense a pattern that Edson Barboza does. Joe Rogan's going to call something, and he's going to do exactly what Joe Rogan calls. If Joe Rogan's even doing this one. I don't think he is. But whoever's on the commentary, they're going to call something, and Dan Hooker's going to do it, because he reads things. He reads a lot of things. He's had 2 wins by knees purely because the guy dips down when they come in. He's a savage, and he thinks in there. Rob Font's going to deal with Sergio Pace. Jim Miller's going to lose to Charles Oliviera by guillotine. We'll see what happens. I think I'm right. I just went through the whole event there. So, fuck it. Like and subscribe. Literally, someone just commented this. You have a long second name. I don't know who it is. But I said I was going to do it, and now it's done. Done. That's the next video. I'm so happy I did that. Like and subscribe. Channel's doing really well. Thanks, guys. Let me know what videos you want to do as well, because I've got 2 videos for tomorrow that I don't know what they're going to be. And a video for Saturday that I don't know what that's going to be either. So, you know, let me know, guys. I need some help. Actually, Kamaru Usman versus Tyron Woodley just got announced. So, maybe I'll redo that video with a more updated approach. We shall see. See you later, guys.